Hello everyone and welcome to today's Stocks and Crypto YouTube Charts video. I am No FOMO Charts. Today is Friday, November 7, 2025. It's about 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the USA. Welcome everyone. This is a swing trading and investing YouTube Charts channel. Let's start with the upcoming stock earnings releases this week. This week we have some AI and quantum stock names such as CoreWeave, Rigetti Computing, Big Bear AI, Gemini Exchange, Circle Internet Group, Disney, Bitfarms, Quantum Computing as well. Economic data, we have CPI, core CPI, and employment claims, and PPI, core PPI, retail sales as well. However, the data may be delayed due to the ongoing USA government shutdown. Recent news. Tech stocks, AI, quantum stocks were volatile. Some of those prices fell. Scion Asset Management revealed put option positions on NVDA and Palantir. Tesla shareholders approved a potential $1 trillion pay package for Elon Musk if all the performance and project milestones are completed. Crypto market prices are volatile. Privacy coin Zcash recently reached the all-time high price of this year and is pulling back down in that price. TradingView news. This is good news, interesting. Alpaca Stock Exchange launched commission-free options trading and is able to connect with TradingView charts via their API on the charts panel, trading panel. Alpaca Stock Exchange also offers stock and ETF trading, so I'm actually interested in that. Let's see how that goes. Now, today's chart events, there's a lot here. It's just showing up on my scanner. Crypto, Bitcoin, Solana, Ripple, Chainlink, Binance Coin, Dogecoin. Cryptocurrencies have potential daily bullish MACD histogram momentum forming. They also had 4-hour double bottoms. Zcash hit its all-time high in the price and is pulling back down near to its 4-hour 12 EMA moving average. We'll get to those in this video. Stocks. These are my daily momentum scanner list. Open. Price is downtrending, but we have some bull momentum. Same with AT&T. Pfizer has a potential double bottom on the daily. Intuit in a triple bottom support price zone. XLF made a higher low on the price and starting to have some bullish momentum forming on the MACD histogram. ASST, interesting penny stock, daily price near the 21 EMA, and it has a TTM squeeze. Cyan histogram forming, meaning some bullish momentum possibly. The short interest is not very high according to the website that I checked, only about 2% short interest, but there is that TTM squeeze forming. Interesting. And last note, technical charts can be overridden and canceled by breaking news and fundamental changes. So I'll get to these chart events visually. Let's start off with SPY. SPY, S&P 500 ETF. We did have that fear pullback on the AI overvaluation and earnings reaction. However, I do want to point out, if we connect a trend line from at least July, we did pierce into that trend line on the yellow and then bounced up. Also, linear regression for the past 100 days was pierced to the downside. Bollinger Band, not quite, but that linear regression, the algorithms and the bots know to buy some because there might be that potential reversal bounce. It happens in the market. We are still golden up crossed on the S&P 500. Someone could also view this as just a 50 EMA support bounce. So hopefully we get continuation back up to resistance 674 or 678 range. We will know we are in trouble with the S&P 500 when we have a close below this trend line, which has been holding for 4 months. Once we close below that, retest and reject, then we'll have a problem. And the lower Bollinger Band target of 650 might be reached. But for now, we're actually okay. We're actually okay. Shooting star, sell off, support, bounce. See if we have some good news and events this week. QQQ, very similar. We had that sell off, the weekly shooting star above the Bollinger Band, pulling back on the daily chart. Testing that 50 EMA. Linear regression plus 50 EMA bounce setup. Interesting scan idea as well. So if we hold this, similar setup, try to target 616. If we get a green candle on Monday, Tuesday, has to be actually Monday, we could get a Morningstar bullish triple candle pattern reversal. It's possible, but downside 597 is our support we need to hold above. Dow Jones bounced in correlation with the other indexes, bounced off of 465, retesting that 20 EMA zone of 470. See if we can break out of there. There's actually, from experience, there's a trend line on the intraday. So once we break out above that, retest the support to the bottom, breakout retest, and then try to maintain momentum, try to target 475. On a weekly, there was this evening star or a bearish piercing. So in the long term, slight risk, but in the short term, try to get the bounce attempt going on. IWM as well. Oversold conditions on intraday from experience. Bollinger Band and the linear regression was oversold, bounced off of 236, trying to hit that 242 range. Let's do XLK because I talked about that last time. XLK is very similar. 50 EMA, linear regression oversold bounce. We went from the top of the linear regression to the bottom, and that's where the algorithms know to buy is the bottom relative. It's trading strategy. That's why I love linear regression. It can work so well because sometimes Bollinger Bands are a little bit more tricky. If the volatility and the ATR is wide, it might not actually pierce. And my favorite setup is when it actually pierces both the linear regression and the Bollinger Band to the downside. That's like an almost automatic buy for me as a trader. So these are okay setups in terms of nothing to be alarmed about. The news is projecting a lot of negativity and fear. It's just because we were down for 1 week straight. But this could be an actual entry opportunity for a trader. Possible, not financial advice. It depends on the situation. But I like the support above 282. Try to target 292 in the short term. XLF financials, all I'm seeing here is this potential higher low in the price. We established the double bottom above $52. See if we can push up to 53 or 54 in a couple months from now. But for now, I'm liking the momentum that I'm seeing on the MACD and the squeeze. There's actually a TTM squeeze building right now. So the fact that it's near the 20 EMA, this is a buy signal for certain TTM squeeze traders just on technical charts alone. Take a quick look. We'll do rapid fire Magnificent 7. So in terms of Apple, still in the uptrend, did not sell off as hard as other tech names, consolidating, but we're starting to lose some of that daily momentum. We can see the prices rising. Some of that momentum is falling. So I would not be surprised if Apple over time in the next 30 to 45 days actually pulls back lower to 264. Hopefully that doesn't happen because everyone's going to get scared, but I am not surprised when it happens. Microsoft, we lost that support arrow that I drew last time, 514. The weekly double top was too strong. The earnings were mixed. And we're at the bottom of that linear regression. But remember, as a trader, the bottom linear regression zone and bottom Bollinger Band zone is getting close to the buy zone for traders. Unless we completely lose the support of 493, then we'll target 477 to the downside. But this is where the algorithms and bots start to get interested. That's all I'll say. And in buying. NVIDIA, there's a really small double top, which was real, 208 rejection to the downside, falling down. But hitting that lower linear regression is going to make the price go up. So something I want to watch out for if this is a daily hammer. If it's strong on NVIDIA, it actually might rally. It could rally up to 194. But it's not over yet. We have NVIDIA earnings coming up in about less than 2 weeks. Google did not have such a catastrophic pullback, but it is consolidating to the side, the price. Short-term double top, something to watch out for. Downside target 268. Upside target has to break above 285. Up here, 285. Amazon did have a little bit of disappointing 3-4 days, but they did get that investment from OpenAI. Still correlated with the tech sell-off. This one was probably some kind of super trend here in the green color. It's not quite a pivot, but this is the super trend, the ATR. So this is where a lot of stop losses were. Robots know to trigger that, stop traders out. For example, the algorithm stop them out and then pick up those shares and then try to make a profit on them. So the upside targets could be 248, 249 level. There is this strange trend line on the top here from a long time ago. Let's go ahead and make a new one. We could also view this as just a horizontal, very simple horizontal support level. This is almost like level 2 action in terms of getting stopped out and then algorithms trying to buy that. Meta, unfortunately, with the earnings miss and the Fibonacci shows that it's hitting that 618 zone. So for this year, Meta is actually in the 618 zone. Bollinger Band and linear regression is below that. So if somebody believes in Meta, the last time we fell was 33%. We fell only 23% and then had a little bounce. If this is going to go green, we could target 634 to 653. The earnings, yes, are bad. Low, high, but then you have a deep lower low. So where's my next lower high? So anyone shorting this might be trying to take a little bit of profit and then re-enter and then try to short it again. That's what I'm thinking when I look at this chart. Let's do one more. Tesla, going a little overtime here. Tesla, even though the 1 trillion potential pay package for Elon Musk was approved, there is an ominous head and shoulders here, or just a triple top resistance below 462. The support level of 444 was actually broken down to the downside. That would take its downside target of -6%, which would be about 419. That's a lot of numbers right there. All I'm saying is, in a nutshell, for the price, is that we were going uptrend and now we're going sideways. That's all that matters. And the fact that we hit this rejection below 467, until we rally and break out above there, there's a little bit of more downside risk in the short term. However, in the long term, we're still in this golden up cross. We're still long-term uptrending. On a weekly chart for Tesla, what it means is we made a higher high, higher low, higher high. So if we even pull back, like I said, down to 394 zone, it could still survive the price and then try to target 475, 500 this year or next year. We know we would be in trouble if it was like 1 year ago, price action in the circle where we have nonstop pulling back. Then we know we have serious problems, but that was mostly political. -50% to the downside. I'm only projecting maybe -4% to the downside before buyers start getting really interesting in this, maybe 6%. And then people will really start to buy the algorithms. So Tesla's a little bit more mixed on the chart. All right, let's fast forward to some of my scanner. Open had a gap down and then a very nice 25% bounce. All I'm going to say here is that the TTM squeeze, even though open had earnings and their baseline numbers were mixed, just because it hits that 50% range, which was $5, the TTM squeeze, which is a very popular indicator for momentum, is forming. So maybe 2 weeks from now, 1 month from now, also below linear regression zone, can we bounce up to $8 because there's possibly a little bit of a short squeeze? $8 is that target. If we hold above $6, we're probably fine. AT&T, all I'm saying is, yes, the earnings is not that great and we're about to death cross, but there is momentum forming. The squeeze is not ready to go yet. It's not quite ready, but there is momentum building off of RSI. So there's some bullish momentum forming. Pfizer, on the other hand, on a daily chart, I'm starting to see some momentum on the MACD and the squeeze. If I zoom in very carefully on this daily chart, there is that potential double bottom zone. It's a little bit ugly, so maybe it's not real. But if it holds above $25, we could potentially break out of that range above 25, excuse me. If we hold above $24, we could break out above $25. But it's going to take some time, and they need some really good catalyst to really push them up 10%. INTU, death crossed for now, but I like this longer term momentum that's forming. This is not the greatest setup. It's almost like a symmetrical triangle, so it could go either ways right now, either way. But let's take a quick sidestep because I'm showing a lot of charts. I try to break it down very simple for myself. If I was conservative with my trading and investing, I'm a little bit more aggressive trader, but if I was conservative, flip back to SPY, we only want to buy when we're in golden upcross uptrends, and then we just buy dips. When something's in a massive downtrend, let's say, what's a massive downtrend? Let's look at, let's say XLP, right? When we're in a massive downtrend and it's starting to look low or there's some kind of reversal, the fact is it's downtrending and it's death crossed. So if I'm very conservative, I do not want to buy any of that because trying to time the exact bottom of the market can be difficult and challenging, or losing a lot of capital, realized or unrealized profits. It's a really good example, XLP chart, because it's so volatile, is that to have the higher chance of success, if I'm trying to go green, I want to buy long when it's going uptrend, this circle going uptrend. Then when it's going downtrend off of a negative catalyst, then I want to sell or go short when it's downtrending. So just that very idea of trend and then go long, uptrending, go long, downtrending, go short or sell or do nothing if I'm a long wait, can save me a lot of time, save me a lot of money as a trader. So then when I look at some of these charts, I'm actually doing aggressive positioning. I'm doing aggressive because, for example, on something like Pfizer or INTU, it's actually not the healthiest trend. It's consolidation trend, right? But if it happens to break out, that's where we get a potential uptrend that comes. So the last stock one I want to point out is ASST. The only thing I'm really concerned about is let me actually redraw that volume weighted anchor. At this original breakout spot. All right, so the anchored VWAP from the May 2025 breakout for now is about 270. All I'm saying is, yes, this is a really downtrending stock, penny stock, but I like this large MACD. That's what I'm seeing. I like this large MACD, It's actually kind of open here. A little bit of cyan action, if you know the TTM squeeze, because once you have a large cyan action, histogram, that's where you get some of these big boosts. So the fact that it's making a suspicious higher low, even though it's death crossed, maybe this might go. It depends though. I'm not expecting a BYND type short squeeze, and the stop loss is very large. The stop loss is 25%. So I might try a really small position, starting position on this, just to see, is it really going to bounce up to VWAP this year or in the next 6 months? Interesting. However, the better setup though, the more reliable one, is post earnings, after earnings, with the double MACD momentum. That's where we got the last big rally. That's not happening right now. We just have a single MACD momentum, but almost look like it's algorithmically controlled. All right, this video is going real long. I'm trying to show people my setups and my chart thought process. Let's go to crypto. Apologies for a long video. I'm actually also just mentally preparing for next week as well. Bitcoin, crypto. Let's start off with total. Total market cap. We had a sell-off, and yes, it was scary. Yes, the upside down head and shoulders in October failed. Yes, this triangle failed to the downside, but you know what's good news? At least we had a double bottom yesterday or 2 days ago, and we bounced. Great. I'm actually long some cryptos down here. I don't want to give away my full positions right now, but I'm long certain cryptos down here and in the green right now. It's fine. So as long as we don't massively crash, we're okay. Let's go to Bitcoin. Bitcoin. Remember I drew this yellow line last time? I drew that because if we lose that support, if this upside down head and shoulders fails, which it did, lower low, lower high, bad news, where are we dumping straight down to? I was targeting 98. It hit 99,000. And I will admit, this is where I started buying some cryptos. I said, this is my exact thought process. We are crashing. And I said, all right, as a trader, I need to be patient, prepare for this trade. It's outside. First off, what's the trend? Is it downtrending? Yes. So if I'm very conservative, I should not be investing in downtrends. But if I want to be an aggressive trader, then I try to play my momentum strategies and volatility strategies. One of them, which I love, is Bollinger Band, lower linear regression, down crosses. Because when I get both of those in alignment, there's a high chance it's very oversold. That's where I started buying. If you're an intraday trader, it's oversold conditions, right? There's a double bottom on stochastic. There's a oversold on RSI. If you're a little more conservative swing trader, there is MACD momentum, squeeze momentum, TTM squeeze momentum. If you're purely price action, double bottom, there are multiple entries here. There's actually 2 good entries, and that's where I bought. Now let's see if we could get some bullish follow through to the upside. Because if everyone's short, sometimes you get a little bit of short squeeze. If everyone's short down here and they're wrong, they get liquidated. Longs try to push it back up. There's also confluence and correlation with the stock market. We see SPY, QQQ rallying Thursday, Friday, a little bit, mostly Friday. Crypto already headed that rally. So now let's just see if we can get that continuation upside for Bitcoin. It could pull back again. Again, this Bitcoin, it could just keep going sideways for 5 days. But I need to see directional moves. Let's see this thing push up to 107K. We'll know when we're in trouble if we retest 100,000 and we fail. We will be in big trouble if that happens. Now, quickly, the other setups. Ethereum, the only setup here is it hit that low linear regression and the S2 pivot point, which is $3,200. Also bought some there. And holding the resistance above 3,500 to 3,700. Let's go Solana. Solana also, I'll be transparent about this one. I bought Solana at like 152. Really happy about that entry. Multiple days. It's like 4 days down there. So once we crashed down out of there, the measured move was 9%, and then we hit 20% to the downside, right? We use the bigger target, 20%. Technical analysis works. If I'm patient, from experience, I knew we're going to hit this. We're going down. We're getting oversold linear regression. I could have waited. I was actually really aggressive. I could have waited 2 days and got the same price, but I was really aggressive, went in that first day. And we're in the green. So we're looking for that resistance 173. We can see this larger resistance. Sometimes I'll use the volume profile. See if we could pierce up to that open gap to 175. We will know we're in trouble with Solana if we fall below 150, which has not happened for some time now. Link, very simple, bullish momentum. I like this. Stochastic RSI oversold, double MACD momentum, RSI is rising. We're in a downtrend, however, so I'm not expecting the price to explode and go 500% like Zcash. We'll talk about that at the end. Remember, with crypto or even stocks, I want to buy into uptrending crypto and stocks. This is downtrending right now. Remember, 1 or 2 weeks ago, I was saying the bounces are only about 10 to 20%. That's why I'm not hyper excited right now. If this goes up, maybe it's only going to go up to $16. And remember, the EMAs are down crossed right now. We have a death cross on this. This might be one more chance and you could still fail. Right? So I need to be careful on these backside downtrending trades. Let's go to Dogecoin. Same thing with Dogecoin. Death cross, that is not good. Let me turn off all these indicators. Just on trend alone, it's downtrending. It's not uptrending like it was in July when I traded Dogecoin. When you have the uptrend reversal, that's where just buy. Get in there, stop below lowest swing low or 2 ATR down and target the previous swing high. That was an easy trade. When it starts consolidating, these are harder trades. And when it's downtrending, it's trying to time that bottom of the long, yeah, it's harder. It's a lot harder. Have to wait for the absolute cheapest price on Dogecoin and all cryptos. The risk is we could just rally even just a little bit up to 18.5, meaning 18 cents, 20 cents, even 21 cents, and just reject back down again. The shorts are waiting. The shorts are waiting to attack again. All right, let's go last one. Zcash. My gosh. Zcash, the greatest privacy crypto of this year. However, I do not want to get people too excited or hyped or triggering FOMO. All I'm going to say is once we have massive golden cross on the EMAs, let me zoom in so people can see. Once this happens on crypto, if you're an experienced crypto trader, you know you might get that explosion to the upside. Sometimes it fails. This is a perfect example. Sometimes it fails, and for 6 months, I'm demoralized from the trade because it doesn't work. This happens to me all the time because my style and scanner sometimes is so early that it'll show me a Zcash in June and then it failed. So then we think it's not going to go up. But September it triggers again. Buy. When I was a little skeptical here at the double top zone, but it held that support zone and then goes up. Buy. Now, when it starts going insane run like this, bull run, it's already well over 1,000% from the start of the golden cross. It's a 10x play. So that's why I'm a little bit more reserved here, because when I put up again that linear regression in the Bollinger Band on the daily chart, we are on the top side of that move. Dangerous. Yes, it's still uptrending and it's not quite downtrending yet, but trying to enter in here as an investment could be, it's more dangerous than entering right on EMAs or on a resistance breakout. So I'm just cautioning people. This is not financial advice. People can do whatever they want with their money and their time in the crypto market. But for me, what I'm noticing on the charts for my next potential Zcash trade, as I'm noticing, that yes, the EMAs are upcrossed and great. So it seems that whenever we hit 50 EMA on Zcash 4-hour charts, swing traders are loving that for now. We are so far from the 50 EMA right now, we're 25%. So for me, I need to wait for a big crash if I'm going to try to play that strategy. We could see that lower linear regression, about 465, 460 area. It needs to downtrend. It's probably going to bounce at the 24-hour EMA around 560. It's probably going to bounce there. But if it gets to 450 real fast, if it crashes real fast, I might enter there just to play that trade. But watch out though. When this thing starts downtrending, that first bounce might go, but if you ever have a double top or a head and shoulders on Zcash or just a extreme oversold, extreme overbought condition and it pulls back, it might be over. 11x money, how high can it go? So sometimes just buying an oversold condition is literally the play when it's an uptrend. I hope this makes sense to the person who's watching this. I just want to make it 200% clear that this is, in the past, this was still going up. High, low, high, low, high, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low. Really higher high. So then when it gets extreme like that, I'm trying to sell or I'm not going to do that trade. There were areas of value, 130. So again, the higher lows, the pullbacks. And on oscillators for 4-hour charts, it's correlated with low stochastic RSI. But if you like to squeeze like I do, which is this third indicator, if you know the squeeze, there are many YouTube videos about it. But once it starts squeezing, let me put it in a not a horizontal line, a vertical line. Vertical line, vertical line, vertical line, vertical line. You can see what's the correlation here. It's 50 EMA setups, maybe even 100 EMA, 50 EMA. It's low stochastic oversold in those spots. The MACD is like right in the middle. So sometimes MACD histogram does not help all the time. That's why I turn to the squeeze, where we start to see a little bit more squeeze action before or after. The RSI sometimes does not help. That's why I put it at the very bottom. Sometimes RSI is just not a good swing trading indicator because not everything gets oversold. All right, so I'm giving away a lot of free strategy right now, but want to watch out because the 4-hour ATR on Zcash is $53. $53 is, I'm just going to round it up to 10%. So that means if I randomly bought Zcash right now, I would need a 20% stop loss on the trade to try to target. I'm supposed to target 40%. Yeah, are we really going to $900 Zcash this month? I'll be amazed. But again, we can see that buying high is dangerous. I want to buy as low as possible. If I bought on a November 4 crash, that same 20% stop loss, even though it looks huge, was not triggered. And I love it when we get directional trades and then our target was perfectly hit. That's why everyone was selling here. So it's all about trend first. This is my mental checklist, is what is the trend? Is it uptrending? Or is it downtrending? In 4-hour charts, we were actually uptrending slowly. There was a little small downtrend. We're uptrending in the bigger picture. Uptrending like this. But inside of there, we had little downtrends into consolidation, into uptrends again. Golden cross confirmed that uptrend. Okay, everyone, I hope you learned something. And I know I shared a lot today. And it's okay. We don't have to learn or master everything in one day. Certainly, I did not. I hope you enjoyed this video. I share a lot of charts and strategies and methods of how I analyze the charts and try to trade successfully. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, learn something, consider subscribing, hit the like button, share this video with your friends. And remember, it's all about position sizing, risk management, strategy execution, emotional control, and patience. See you in the next video.